Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a full review on the new Idole Nectar as well as a full buying guide on the whole Idole line. So if you want to know all about the line or only about the new release Idole Nectar, then please keep on watching. But before we start, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. I will also appreciate it if you go and follow me on Instagram, where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's start. I will leave timestamps on this video, so if you want to know only about the new release, then skip ahead to that part. So let's start with the first Idole that came out in 2019, this one, and you can consider this as the base that runs through all the next flankers. So this is all about the rose, a musky, fresh rose. Rose is the main character of the Idole line as well as the musk. Now here the rose takes really front and center. It's, as I said, a fresh rose. There is a slight sweetness to this fragrance because there is pear and vanilla, but it's more of a clean, fresh summer spring rose fragrance. And this has kind of a moderate longevity and sillage. It's the weakest when it comes to longevity and sillage from all the range. But it seems like it's a favorite of a lot of people and it gets compliment for some reason. So that was the original Idole. Next year, so 2020, they came out with the Intense version. And this is again a musky, clean rose, but the emphasis here is not on rose but on jasmine. So there is some jasmine in the original one, but here it takes front and center. The rose you can smell, but I smell more jasmine than rose. It's definitely an intense version in the sense that this one has more longevity. It remains on my skin much more and it projects much better than the original one. So I would say this is moderate to strong longevity and sillage on my skin. And I would recommend this one for those who prefer jasmine to rose, because to me, yeah, it's definitely the jasmine here, and it has a woody base which you get in the very dry down, and actually this woody base is what makes this fragrance last longer. And although it's an intense version, so you would think this is a fragrance that's like more of a cold weather version of Idole, I would say this one you can wear all year round, no problem. And I definitely prefer the Intense to the original one, not only because of the good performance, but because I personally love more jasmine. So that was Idole Intense. Now let's get to the next one. So in 2021 they came out with Idole Aura, and here they went with the Idole DNA in a total different direction. This is a beautiful salty vanilla rose fragrance. So imagine the base of this one. So you have this musky rose, but the vanilla here is really amped up, and then it has a little bit of this salt. It's so beautiful. If you love salty vanilla fragrances, you will definitely like this one. And I would say it's a refined salty vanilla. So in a lot of fragrances that have these two notes, they are a little bit loud and less sophisticated. This one is really refined. Actually, I bought this bottle recently because, yeah, I smelled it again in the store and I was like, no, I really need this one in my collection. It has this beachy vibe, but in a very sophisticated, refined way, and has a good longevity and sillage. So it's not as long lasting and as projecting like the Intense, but it's almost there. So it's definitely better than the original one. Actually, I would say they are almost the same. It's very a mild difference. I mean, like an hour or something. And if you overspray it, you will get the same projection as the Intense one. It's really, really good. And I definitely prefer this one to the nude from, also from LANCOME, but the flanker of La Nuit Trésor. So that was Idole Aura. Now let's get to the newest release, so Idole Nectar. So I have a mini, which is so cute. I love minis so much, but I also have a decant of the fragrance. I have it here on my skin in the dry down, but let's get the opening here. And I was so excited when I saw this new flanker, because reading is the notes, you will definitely be intrigued, because it has popcorn, caramel, rose, musk and vanilla. So again, you have the base of the original Idole, but added popcorn and caramel. Now, when I first sprayed it, I have to admit I didn't get the popcorn at all. I get a little bit of this caramel note, but to me I smelled a fruity version of Idole. Then when I started to play with it, especially when I compared it to the original Idole, I definitely got the popcorn. However, this caramelly popcorn does not last, unfortunately. So if you are like me, and this is exactly why you were intrigued by this fragrance, well, it doesn't last, unfortunately. It's there, I would say, for initial 5 minutes, and then it's almost gone. Now, in the notes on Fragrantica at least, there is no mention of any fruity note. I don't know, I personally get sometimes peach and sometimes pear, but I can swear there is some kind of fruit going on. Actually, to me, this is more a fruity version of Idole than like a gourmand one, so the popcorn with the caramel. Now, the caramel does last, but it's not really there. What I mostly smell again is the DNA of Idole, so the rose and the musk. Musk is really strong here. And then the caramel and the popcorn. And I'm almost sure that on Fragrantica they do not mention the right notes, or at least not all of the notes, because I definitely smell the musk and it's not in the notes. So overall, this is a fruity, sweet version of original Idole with a touch of caramel. And as I said, the popcorn doesn't last. Now, when it comes to longevity and sillage, I have bad news. It's not as strong as Idole Aura and Idole Intense. It's more like the original Idole. Moderate longevity and sillage, in my opinion, is not really bad. But giving the notes, I mean popcorn and caramel, I expected more longevity and more sillage on this one. So on my skin, it lasted about 5 to 6 hours, and the projection was really like moderate, so not really strong. I could get it a lot in the opening, so it has kind of a strong opening, but then it dries down very quickly to a very, even sometimes I find it's not even a moderate sillage, it even has a weak to moderate sillage. I don't know, it depends maybe on the weather, but this is my experience. And I have to mention that I have problem usually with longevity on my skin. So a lot of fragrances that people love and swear by as long lasting do not last very long on my skin. So I have also to mention that. So overall, I would say if you want a fresh musky rose from the range, then this is the one for you. It's a fragrance that you can wear all year around. It's office friendly, signature worthy scent, quite an easy reach kind of a fragrance. If you love more jasmine and you want a more amped up version of the original one, then the Intense version is for you. Now, if you want more of a beachy, summery, although I would say this is a fragrance that you can wear also all year around. I personally do not associate so much summer with salted vanilla, but this is just me. Then get yourself Idole Aura. This is my absolute favorite one. And I would say if you really love the DNA of Idole and you want a fruity version, a sweeter version, then get yourself the new Idole Nectar. Now, a big disclaimer for my old subscribers. You all remember in my absolute first declutter videos that I actually decluttered these two. How come I still have them? Now, I decided after a while to keep them, not in my collection, so I keep them with the fragrances that I want to sell or gift, whatever. So these are not on a display. These are fragrances that are stored in my storage room, waiting for a second chance in another home. But these two I kept because just before actually finding a better home for them, they came out with Idole Aura last year. So I figured out I have to keep them for future comparisons, because it seems like Idole will do more flankers each year, and I was not wrong, because this year they came out with the Nectar. And I mainly decluttered these two because I was over this DNA of a fresh musky rose, and also because I don't like anymore the musk used by LANCOME. So LANCOME fragrances in general have this musky note. I smelled so many fragrances from many brands, so I can distinguish the musk used in each brand. For example, Narciso has a kind of musk, Chanel has another one, and LANCOME has her musk. And I have a problem with the musk in LANCOME. I don't know what it is, I just have a problem with it. It's a little bit screechy, sharp to my nose. I didn't get that when I first bought these fragrances. I actually loved them, I wear them, but I don't know, suddenly, maybe because I am now exposed to more fragrances, I can't stand this musk from LANCOME anymore. And this is why I personally am not interested in the Nectar. I was mostly interested because I saw this popcorn note, so I thought it's going to be something, you know, in the same vibe like Idole Aura, but it's not. The musk is really there, to my nose at least. And this explains also why I love this one, because Idole Aura doesn't have a lot of musk in it, so I don't get it as much. And no, it's just a beautiful fragrance. So that was it. That was my review on the new Idole Nectar and the whole Idole line. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time. Ciao!